Welcome to the vault, baby. Dang, ashes to ashes. All right, so we have the new event coming up, right? So I'm only gonna do stage 6 and 7 for everybody, but they have like this creator billboard thing, so I try to keep up with it if I can, and that's why I make like the offbeat videos, except just GVG stuff. So guys, today I'll show you my team. I am obviously gonna use Watchers. That's my shit, bro. And then we have Esoterus down here, right? Cyrus, main tank, but I think Piercers would be really good on the left and right sides, right? So that's an option, I think, in my opinion, if you want to try those. However, this stage is very CC dependent. That is crowd control. So if you guys want, Mari is going to be a phenomenal replacement instead of Ymir, because in later stages, stage 7, Ymir's gonna have a hard time staying on the ground just because of the archers and stuff. Or Boreas, but I don't have my Boreas leveled up. And I don't think I will, honestly. I don't know. I'd have to have so many extra. Torador, Nightmare faction instead. If you have like Sun Wukong and everybody, Torador could be your tank. There's options, right? There's always options. I'm not gonna rack my brain to do it. I'm just gonna sit back. Let's play, baby. The Omnikai way. And my way is destroy everything. All right, so guys, I do like to bring Cyrene, just get that extra cost regen, right? Because I have high cost units, right? So I have like top tier units, meta units. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place her down, and then we're gonna get out Kagiri. I like Kagiri in this position because he can cover almost everything around him, right? He's that samurai ready to go. So I like to use him to cover that left side, so that way, in case anybody comes down through the middle, he can kind of go up and kill them off, right? So you could use healer coverage, but I like to bring out Elowen, right? Elowen's she's amazing, god tier healer. You can use her on so much stuff, and it's mostly for the rage regen, right? Cross mat rage regen. So anyway, I face her up. She's gonna basically give healing to Cyrene. Cyrene's up here in that position for targeting of the archers, right? Kind of to bait them out. But always keep an eye on Kagiri. When that monster starts coming around, the big one, that's when you use his ultimate. He can kind of go up and kill off the archers anyways. But the archers, if they get too close, they'll pop Elowen. So if that starts happening, hit Elowen's ult. So kind of save it in case you really need it. So I like to place Ymir in this little nook and cranny. Also, don't forget, I already placed down Anora. So that's my crowd control coverage. On stage 6, I can use Ymir, but on stage 7, Ymir's not that great because he's going to be on that left-hand side and get sniped out, right? One of the best things about Anora is not just her crowd control, it's that her ultimate comes up basically right away. Same thing with Ymir, just crowd control on crowd control. So, Cyrene, right? You can always recall her if you need her, and then you get more cost. You can pop down Ingrid a little easier if you need to, but I like to place Ingrid right here, kind of right where Ymir is, and then underneath Ingrid I'll place a healer if I need it later. After Ingrid comes out though, we're pretty much set up for the most part. Then you just drop your tanks in front, right? But Sun Wukong is so important here. If you have a little rage regen on him, it's gonna work fantastic, but he can basically cover this whole right side by himself. That's what I've noticed. Mine is A5 though. But A3 should probably be able to do it too, as long as you can one-shot these monsters that starts coming out, right? I do like to bring him out right after Ingrid because he is going to need to build up his rage regen to pop that first boss that comes out right out of that top portal right above him. So Talon can go down right here, and she's really good. Remember, she also has that HP regen kind of in her kit. It's not HP regen. I don't know why I said it like that. But she does also provide some self-healing. We do have the Iron Chalice on her. We go ahead and we call Cyrene. We don't need her anymore. We have enough cost for everything else on the field and nothing else really to worry about. Kagiri handles the left. Anything that comes down except for the archers, that's the only thing to really worry about. Talon's here. She can hit that whole lane basically in front of her, and the pushback is nice, right? So if you want from here, we're basically set. Now we're just waiting to get your other tank out, which could be Torador if you're not using Silas, right? So you can face him whatever way you want. I like to face him up. When I do place him, I'll face him up so that way the skeletons can kind of stop more of the mobs in front and allow Ingrid to keep hitting them. Now when the second wave in the middle starts to come out, that second gathering, I guess, This is when you're going to want to keep an eye on Sun Wukong. And then when the monster starts coming out, the boss right here, boom, the little arrow starts coming down because he will split. He will split into two. And then he'll either go to the left and to the right, and you won't be able to stop him. So you need to kill him as fast as possible. Right? Boom. There you go. Sun Wukong takes him down. If you wait too long, you're done, son. It's going to be too hard to recuperate from it. At least in my opinion. Or you could, but why? Just kill him. Death is the greatest form of crowd control. I'm just saying. Anyways, this is why I suggest you bring Rage Regen on your Sun Wukong, because all the way on the right, another monster comes out. Sun Wukong's not ready yet. His ult's not up, but he has stun in his kit. He has his little clones too that might come out and rear their little heads and help you out a little. But if you stun him, it's pretty much easy peasy because his ult will come back in time, and as long as you get him, boom, we got him, you're fine. Because here you can either put down the Wood Elf or you can bring in your other healer, right? And I have the Wood Elf, which is great. I could either take back Ymir and then place down my other healer to heal Sun Wukong if you need it. I honestly don't think he needs it, not mine at least, but if you don't have the awakenings or the gear, then yeah, you probably will, right? And depending on your roster, your heroes selection size that you have and all that good stuff, your available options that you can bring, then Volca could be an option for like cycling, right? I can see this being done a little easier with cycling as long as you know the timings and what is about to happen, and then you're more well prepared. So basically we're all set. Actually, you could just take out Sun Wukong if you need, and then you place another healer or your other flex position, right? Because after that last monster that Sun Wukong killed, you can probably just pick him up. Look, nothing else came down over there, so you would have another spot if you brought like somebody else instead of Cyrene or somebody else instead of Nerissa, my second healer, right? So those are just options, guys, right? Just think about how to break the map apart, and then you can go from there. And like I said, I also think piercers are good on the left and right side if you don't have like Sun Wukong and Kagiri. So let's hop into stage 7. All right, the end of the end, at least for the vault. I was basically able to do it with the same exact team. Stage 6 was different, but when I redid it, I just kept Cyrene in there. I think I used Ares or Ares, whoever it is, for the Esotericist faction, right? The map's a little different just because of where you can place your units, but it's basically the same. The basics are the same. Like, piercers could probably still handle both sides. Depends on if you invested heavily into a piercer comp, right? If you have those A5s and shit, want a Silas and all that good stuff, go ahead, try them out. Alright, so first off, Kagiri down here, he's handling my left side again. Same thing for Sun Wukong, he's gonna be handling the right side. But he has full range, right? Let's go, Ronin. He can handle it, I guarantee it. Not A1, not A2, not A0. I think he's gonna probably at least need to be A3 with some of your best shit on, right? Before I place down Anora, she can either go in one of these two spots, right? Because Ymir, that's what I was saying. If you place Ymir over on the left, he's gonna get wiped out by archers coming down, right? Let's pop Kagiri's out real quick. You can play, I like to place Anora up top, right? But you could also place maybe like a Mari or something up top and then put a Nord down here on the lower tile, right? So I like to go out with Ingrid next. That way she has full access to that whole lane that's in front of our tanks. Once Cyrene pops her ultimate one more time, we'll pick her up because she's gonna get mollywopped down here by this congregation that's gathering in the middle, right? We'll go ahead, we pick her up, and then we place down Talon. Talon! That's my girl, man. On stage 7, you do need your tank out pretty quick. So Silas is going straight down, facing up. Just like last time, for the most part, use Torador, whatever. Another tank if you can, or if you have to, right? From here on, we're pretty much waiting for Sun Wukong to come up. Keeping an eye on also the left, right? Because you need to be able to pop Kagiri's ult. Look at that. Ingrid still does some damage hitting those archers and that big monster coming down. But just be ready to pop Kagiri's ult. You know, you don't need him to get touched too many times because he will die. For the right side, it's going to be basically the same thing, right? Same exact thing. Once that big monster comes out, we mollywop him with Sun Wukong, and the stun will do the same thing that it did last time. At least that's what we're hoping for. RNG can play a role, but guess what? Beat it once, get to power dominance. So, Narissa, she'll go out next. She does do some damage, so in case something happens, maybe she can pick it up, right? Or at least help take out some of the enemies. But her ult's also time locked, right? So don't expect it. She's just here for healing and to heal Sun Wukong and everybody else that stays in the middle. Elowen is basically there just to cover Kagiri and a little extra help for Talon, but she doesn't necessarily need it. Kagiri, I like Kagiri all the way down here because sometimes when these mobs start coming through, I'll just activate Kagiri's ult. If they're not taken care of, hopefully at least some of them get like wiped out by Kagiri. Let's not forget about the right side. Sun Wukong, his ult, activate that and eliminate. Boom. Now he can't get extra healing, right? Not from the Wood Elf on this stage. But Kagiri, like I was saying, he didn't need to wipe over there because like that little extra damage from I think it's a Nora or from Ingrid, the Radiant Erosion, it killed off those enemies before they got to our portal. But Kagiri was ready. He was ready. So now the next monster that's going to come out is going to come out on the right side. Same thing as last time. We're going to look for those stuns. And then we'll pop Kagiri's, not Kagiri, but Sun Wukong's ult again before that monster gets too far. Now, if you're having trouble with this, if you need like little more extra time and coverage, then maybe you're going to have to cycle, right? Bring Voka, put her down here, or put like your extra tank or something to stall that monster out before it gets too far. You could do it. I think it could work. Or you could take out Talon, right? And then like cycle it that way. If you take out Talon early enough, she has reduced recost, right? So same thing with Voka. Bring her down, and then you could probably make that work a little better. And then you would lean more into that Nightmare faction, right? Alright, so everything's looking pretty good. We have our next congregation coming out here. They're ready for prayer. Oh boy, to meet their maker. Anyway, so Kagiri, this is when everything kind of looks like it's falling apart, but it's not, right? Because we're going to have double archers coming down. They do take out Elowen, but Kagiri can wipe out that lane. And then if I needed to, because Elowen's gone, and she's only covering healing for Kagiri, I could place down Ymir, where Kagiri is if he couldn't kill everybody. But after that happens, when Elowen's gone, I could just pick Elowen back up, honestly. And then I could place down Ymir here for that extra crowd control, right? Or you can play Cyrene if you had like that extra flex position. You didn't probably need to bring Cyrene, and then she could provide more damage there too. We also did pick up Sun Wukong, so that way you have extra spots after this last piece, right? That's the last piece of the puzzle. Pick up all your other units after Kagiri kills off that left side monster. There's nothing left. You can pick up your 2 units on the left and right side and then kind of focus more in the middle with those extra flex positions or the other units that you brought like Voka or whatever. Who knows? Alright, y'all, so we're done. We've completed it. Lock it up, baby. So also, y'all, I'll look at my Sun Wukong before I head out, actually. See if I had any rage regen on him. I don't think I did, honestly. But the new tactical units, they're gonna break this whole stuff open, right? So if you're having trouble with like the Hall of Illusion, if you're having trouble with this, if you're having trouble with like some of the other things, kind of like Abyss, right? Those tacticians, they're game changing. That's what they're for. They're gonna change the rest of the year. It makes everything easier, and that's why you invest in new units and stuff, right? A lot of the content in this game can be completed with older units. It just takes a lot more deep understanding of the game. You have to get great gear, god tier gear, put them on your epics, whatever. But you get the new units so you can kind of like walk through stuff and smile, right? Skip along. Anyway, Sun Wukong, let's get to it. Let's see, rage regen real quick. Nope, no extra rage regen. I did have Elowen though, right? So I'm gonna cut out.